Everybody, I'm super excited to be here. This weekend for me, it's called Escape from Canada. It's seriously, we haven't been able to really leave for a long time, but it's great to be here. So I'm Steve Mascarin. My COO Sherry is on her way up here since Corey threw us on early. So we're here today to talk about Scratch practices and the things that we've done that are very unique and special that created our success. So my history is I practiced a lot for about 22 years until about 2012, and I opened 4 Scratch offices over the course of whatever, 10 years. And I made all the mistakes that most normal dentists make when they open a practice. You know, you start small and kind of hope you grow into it, and then you end up with 2 or 3 empty ops after 10 years and wonder what happened. So I was such a big producer that when I wanted to, when I partnered up with Chris back in like 2010, 2011, I started just slowly. I was a little bit scared. I slowly did things, which was a big mistake. And then I find it very challenging to do things over time. So I said, forget about it. I'm just gonna, I sold off my practices to 2 of my associates. And I said, this time I'm gonna do it properly and start from scratch. And I'm gonna follow all of the input and advice that Chris has given me and that's available to you. So I mean, seriously, I could probably end this talk right here and just say, go to the Chris website, download the Scratch practice manual, and do everything it says. And you'll be hugely successful. So when I started this latest office, I bought another property, which is a whole other topic. I'm a huge fan of real estate. I'm a huge fan of you guys, like dentists, buying and owning their own real estate where they are. Because as you all know, we guys are the best tenants that a landlord could ask for. And it's kind of, it's delusional because you think it's nothing, you know, I'm only paying whatever for rent, no big deal. You have such a high revenue in your dental practice, but buying the real estate, it's the best decision you'll ever make. So anyways, I bought this, it was a used car dealership, converted it to a dental office, and I decided I'm gonna start building my team. And Sherry was one of my first hires. She was a dental assistant by background, and she was kind of hired as like a dental assistant, an assistant to the manager I hired. And it didn't work out with the manager I hired because on paper, and this is like the classic scenario, on paper, the manager that I hired looked amazing. Like she had great management experience, great history, great education, but she could not handle it. She just could not handle it. Was not good. So Sherry was her assistant, and this kid kept telling me, like, Steve, I can handle it. And this is in the middle of construction. I've got this major development going on, whatever. And I didn't know when the dental office was going to be ready to open. So Sherry just kept saying, Steve, I can handle it. Give me a chance. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a chance. But I know I'm going to have to hire like a proper manager as we grow. But anyway, Sherry, here we are like 4 years later, 5 years later. So Sherry stepped up, and she's the COO of all our companies. So now we've got 3 Scratch offices, 2 that are established. 1 we're opening next month, not next month, in November. It's going to be 12-up practice. And we're also managing 3 offices now, for now. We're going to be expanding that too. Sherry's overseeing all of that, overseeing the construction. And she's a truly amazing person. And before she introduces herself, I just want to say that when you start these things from scratch or start any practice, who you start with, I think is so important. Like the person you first hire, and after the other people you hire, to have those people in line with your core values and your vision and in sync with what you believe in is key, because that's where it all builds from. So go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, so hi everybody. My name is Sherry Fitzpatrick, and I'm now the COO of Next Dental. I've been working for Steve, like he said, for about almost 6 years now. And I was the assistant to the manager during the construction phase. She was let go. He temporarily gave me an opportunity until he was planning to replace me. And
Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt you. So here's what happened with that manager I hired. I thought, okay, Steve, I've never been a big fan of taking my team to conferences because sometimes bad things happen. I'm sure not with you guys.
Yeah.
So this was a disaster. So I go, okay, Steve, let's do it properly this time. Bring your manager, bring Sherry, and bring your head hygienist that had worked with me for a long time before in my other offices. So we came to Vegas to this conference. She got just a disaster. She got so drunk.
Yeah.
And she disappeared after the first night, and I never saw her again all weekend. I honestly, to this day, don't know what happened.
We don't know where she went.
But Sherry was smart enough to show up the next day, bells and whistles,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So basically, I came into this position that I didn't know he didn't have plans to keep me around. It was just temporarily. But at that time, I was like, okay, this is, sometimes you only get one chance in life sometimes, and sometimes if you let it pass, then you don't get them again. So I was like, okay, this is my chance for my life to change right now. So I'm like, I'm going to prove to him that I can do this position. I had zero management experience. I had dental experience, no managerial experience, never led a team in my life, nothing like that. And, the lady left, and I opened the practice, did the ordering, hired the team, onboarded them, got everything ready for opening day. And now I'm happy to say that that practice has grown into $1 million per chair per year.
It's actually 1.3, Sherry.
1.3. We bill per op. We bill 1.3 million per op per year within 24 months of us being open. We receive 400 to 500 new patients every single month since the day that we've been open. I now lead a team of 150 employees plus and open 3 practices with Steve and continuing. So I feel like I've come a far way, and sometimes when an opportunity knocks, you just got to get it. So, thank you.
And what's more satisfying than creating opportunity and growing with people? It's truly life-changing. And that's what happens with your patients too, right? How you treat your people is how your people treat your patients. So it's really, really remarkable. I love it.
Is it this one? Switch the slide. Which one did you use? Sorry. Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to go into three sections. I'm going to try and go pretty quick so we can, party, let loose. So I'm going to talk about, first of all, the vision that you have to have before you open a scratch practice. Second, I'm going to talk about sort of the pregame, what needs to be in place before you open. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the ongoing maintenance and adaptation, which we're all aware from the last year and a half. If you haven't been open-minded and flexible, forget about it. I mean, there's a lot of dentists we know in Toronto that barely open up, and they keep talking about COVID, this, that, and they're not back to where they were before. So being adaptable. So having the vision, there's 2 things, the most important things that need to be in place before you open a scratch office is number one, in my opinion, is money. You have to make sure that you've got, wherever you get your money from, banking or leasing, with the leasehold improvements, in Toronto it costs, and now it's a lot more with COVID, it's about $250 a square foot. So it's a lot, it's $600,000, $700,000 to do the leaseholds. And in Toronto, it's about $70,000, $80,000 per operatory for all the equipment, all the cabinets, and all that stuff. So do an 8-hour practice, you're already into it for like $1.2 million. I like to lease the equipment because it's tax favorable, you can write it off. You can get a bank line usually to the leaseholds. But the sort of dirty little secret that nobody talks about, if you want to do this properly, the Chrisad way, you need to have access to capital, like working capital, for at least a year. So, and a rough metric for that is about $50,000 to $100,000 a month you'll need to have access to over a year. So it could be up to like $1 million. And that said, the second thing, you have to have vision. You have to have faith that it's going to work. So if you have those things in place, if you got the money, number 2, location. Location is the most important thing in opening a dental office now. You know, the SEO thing costs so much money, like getting your name out there and getting recognized. You need a location with tons of traffic. When I say tons of traffic, I like 50,000 cars a day. I like a low speed limit, like 30 miles an hour. I like lots of stoplights, easy accessibility, and tons of signage opportunity. Like, you want a place that it's going to be like being in Vegas, where the signs are like, you know, bright. This practice I'm building now, do you have a picture of the LED sign?
No, unfortunately, yeah.
This practice I'm building, opening up in November, I've got this sign. I spent $120,000 on it. It's like 24 feet high, LED light, LED screen. It's going to be like 60 square feet with our logo on top that Chris had designed for us. It's beautiful. But the signage, you cannot be missed when people drive by you, because it takes so many impressions before people think, oh yeah, I remember that dental office, whatever. Then they get your mailers, and you see on the internet. And yeah, so location, most important thing.
It's not switching. Oh, there we go.
Again, Chris had approach. That's all you need to know.
That's when everything changed, right, Steve?
Yep.
For you.
Yeah. That's right when I started doing all the Chris had.
You can't just do a few things that Chris had wants you to do. You can't just cherry pick. Oh, maybe I'll do flyers every 6 months. Maybe I'll do the secret shopper calls. Maybe I'll extend a couple of my hours weekly, but not all 7 days. You have to do them. You have to do everything, or just don't do anything at all. And I think that's what Steve did differently.
It's like being pregnant. Either you're pregnant or you're not.
Yeah.
Right? So you're all in. You got to go all in.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of sayings about that, but they're probably not appropriate right now.
And locations.
Knees deep. Actually, that's what Sherry would say about me. Nobody else would do this around here because they don't have, what's the word used?
They don't have the balls.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to have a high risk tolerance.
Yeah.
But on that note, you know, it is more risky to buy an existing practice or sort of stay in the one you're in and leave it as it is than it is to open from scratch. Because when you buy somebody else's practice, it is so difficult to implement any sort of change because, you know, you went and bought this expensive dental practice, and in Canada now, it depends. It's either a multiple of the profit or a multiple of the revenue. It could be as much as 2 times revenue, which is a stupid way to value practice, in my opinion. But you're into this for so much money. It is so risky to do any changes because you're going to lose patients. Patients aren't as you know, married to the practice that they've been at for so many years. The new guy comes in. So it's far less risky, counterintuitively, to start a practice from scratch because you've got full control. It's so awesome. It's like a blank canvas. You have full control over how you're going to touch people's lives, who you're going to hire, what kind of vibe you want, how fast you're going to grow. But you control everything, and there's no excuses not to fail. Versus buying somebody else's practice, it's tough. Mm-hmm. So once you get those 2 things in place, then you can start getting ready.
And when Steve picks his locations, he chooses locations that he can expand when he needs to. Where, like all of these locations here, we can add on additions to open up more when we hit our capacity. So our first office there, Taunton Village Dental, we actually now, as of Monday morning when we fly back, we're opening from 7 operatories to 12. Like, we're taking down the wall and we've got an addition ready to go because we hit capacity about a year and a half ago, where we actually weren't able to get somebody in within 24 hours. We're open 7 days a week.
I canceled all of the secret shopper calls for about 6 months.
Yeah, we're open 7 days a week until 10 p.m. And we didn't have a prime time appointment available for a year and a half because it was that full, so that we decided we had to build an addition now. And there was a time period just before COVID where we really couldn't offer that same day appointment. We actually got a mobile hygiene van and parked it outside of our office while we were under construction so that we could actually still get somebody in for a cleaning within 24 hours, and we had hygiene vans in front of our building so that we could still keep doing that. Because that's how much you can't go outside of that. When you're not able to offer a prime time appointment within 24 hours, they're just gonna call the next dental office. You guys know that. That's why it's so important. So the minute you can't, you can only extend your hours so much. We've extended them till 10 p.m., 7 days a week. We had to do something else, and Steve manned up, and now he built an addition. So that takes balls.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, when I put the addition on, and again, I own these buildings too, so I have control over what I can do. When I put the addition on the original one, so we're opening at 5 more. We're gonna have 12 Monday morning, and I plumbed when I was doing the construction for 5 more. Because I know I'm going to fill them up. Not having capacity is you have to be so confident that what you're doing is going to work so well. And you do all the stuff you're told, you keep adding capacity, expanding hours, and you're going to be, before you know it, you're going to be at capacity. I went through all this before. This is sort of how I learned my lesson. One of my original practices was in a really great smaller city just outside of Toronto, and I rented this amazing location. Everything I said, like 50,000 cars a day, slow through, right by the big mall, tons of parking accessibility. So I rented the place, I put 5 ops in, and I had the opportunity to lease the space beside me. So I had the one place I had with 5 ops, it was like 2,500 square feet. No, maybe not that much, probably 2,000. But I had the opportunity to get the adjacent spot and rent it, so I could have one big office. But I wasn't confident enough, and I was scared, and I thought, what a stupid thing to do. Like, from a business standpoint, why would you pay for rent for an empty space? And again, you think you're a dentist, you have so much revenue, you know, it's all the more reason. Spend whatever it costs a month. To save $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 a month rent for that extra space, it held me back so much, because what happened was, a year later, I was ready to expand, and then what do you call it? Not sold, but lease sign went up on the door, and it was like to a big company, so like H&R Block or something. And I'm like, Jesus, I should have jumped on that when I did. And it took 3 years to get out of it, and I had to pay this big real estate company in Canada so much money to get rid of H&R Block, and I ended up spending way more money to get them out of there than I would have if I paid the rent. So I always have room to expand. And I like to start with 8 operatories when you start from scratch, because that's a good number. You can fill them up within 2 to 3 years. And then you can always add hours. Like Sherry said, we went from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We started opening at 6 in the morning. We expanded our weekends from 8 to 6, from like 9 to whatever, we're 9 to 5. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's my money gun. This is what that's what you feel like when in the first year when you're funding this thing. You just have this money gun all over the place.
Yeah.
So it can be pretty stressful. But like I said, at the end of the day, you have to remember, even if you fail or don't do as well as you thought, all your investment is still going to be worth something. You still got a dental office, right? And worst case scenario, you're going to lose a bit of what you spent to fund it for the first year or 2.
Yeah. So that's basically kind of like what he was saying. You know, you take dips when you start adding your hours. They're not necessarily going to be filled right away, so you take a little bit of a deficit, but then you keep growing. And then we're just kind of showing proof that, you know, we've had to move on several locations, adding additions. So everything that John says about all that stuff is 100%
Just remember,
true.
it's always going up, right?
Yeah.
The red dips, that's when you expand. You got to hire more people, and it can be stressful, but. And Sherry's going to take over from here, because I love this slide that John puts up at all his conferences. When you have you do the scratch practice, you have everything in place, like all your systems, and you've done everything properly in the back end. Only then are you able to go to the next level. And the next level, where there's open football field, where there's no competition, truly no competition. And if you don't believe me, just do secret shopper calls to all of your competitors, and you'll see how good you are. Like I can't believe it. These guys, you can't accommodate you for a month. They make you have a full new patient exam, blah, blah. So there is no competition. They're in no position to offer any level of customer service or experience or anything. So this is the really exciting stuff in dentistry right now, is you get all your ducks in a row, and you start doing the customer service things, which Sherry's going to talk about.
And this is just kind of like a 3-year projection of where our first practice grew. And as you guys can see, our numbers don't lie. As of August, so last month, and you guys can see the steady flow of new patients, which is the second column, 400 to 500 new patients every single month, and $1 million a chair. So that's that's actual collection as well, monthly. And hygiene numbers were about 1,500 every single month. Our retention rate for hygiene and our patients are about 85 to 90%. Thank you. So when Steve was preparing to open up our first clinic, we had a sit-down conversation, and we thought, okay, well, we have to come up with a business model and who we are going to be, what we're going to replicate, and what we want for this company. So, everything in our office is about customer service and serving our patients. So we had to think outside the box, because dental hasn't always been about customer service in history. So we looked to our customer service leaders in the world. And these are just a few of the great ones. What do they all have in common? Well, first of all, their branding is consistent. All around the world, if you close your eyes, you know what the Walmart brand looks like. So anything you do in your office, you have to have your branding consistent. That's why we get Chris Ad to do everything for us. They keep that brand consistent, the font, everything, tons of signage. So many dental offices I see, and then the dental office name is dentist. And it's like, how are you identifiable? Like, when people drive by your office, you need them to remember your logo in your head so that when they do need that dental office appointment, they remember the logo. Or for when they get the flyer in the mail, it all registers to them. Starbucks, they customize your experience. You could go into Starbucks and ask them to make your latte 18 different ways, and they're going to do it. And they're going to do it with a smile. They're going to ask you what your name is and put it on your cup. You have to create those unique custom experiences for your patient. Not every patient's the same, and they do need to have a customized experience. Readily available appointments is like products on the shelf. You don't walk into Walmart and put an order in and have to go back 2 weeks later to pick it up. Product availability. Your product is chair time. You have to always have chair time available and on the shelf for them, or else they're going to go to the next place that actually has it. And always ready and affordable and quick and easy, great locations, and lots of visibility. So we just kind of take it from different standpoints of great customer service and leaders, and we pick things that we have selected from each one of them, and that's how we came up with our service level agreement in our office. You'd like to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is from a couple of years ago, but these are the things that we looked at. What are people looking for? What do they want? And at this time, I think this is 3 years old. It was transparency is so important. Yeah. Like openness, trustworthiness in communicating fees and treatment. So part of the experience, our customer journey, we built all of this into it to make sure that every time a patient's in, the top 10 things are boom, boom, boom. They're getting every single one of them. Like the cleanliness. Our office is spotless. You cannot. It's even more so now. We're getting it cleaned even more, but our office is spotless. You can literally eat off the floor. Mm-hmm. It's one of the number one things, and it's even more so. It comes up in the surveys. And it was really interesting. If you guys get those in one of Chris Ad's emails about a month ago, they had the new results from that Northwestern study. And I thought it was really interesting because the things that have moved up to the top even higher two of them are about the dentist. They want a dentist that puts them at ease and comfortable, and they want a dentist that's caring and empathic and all that stuff that they can trust. Things that have moved to the bottom, apparently nobody really cares if they take your insurance anymore, which I think that's because everybody does it. Yeah.
Now they expect it. If you don't take their insurance, it's well then why would you even go there anyways? Yeah.
So anyways, give the people what they want. Look at these surveys.
Yeah. So our service level agreement was created, and our office culture was created solely around our core values and then our mission statement for our office. When we first got our team together, we did a workshop together, and all of our team had a collective effort in what did we want to represent to our community, to our patients, and what type of model did we want for hiring our team. So we actually came up with our mission statement and core values together as a team. And it's not just something that we just say and we put on the wall. Like, our team recites their core values. If we stop somebody in the hall, I'll ask them to tell me what's the core values, and stop dead and center, and they have to tell me what they are. And we put our core values right in front of our reception desk so our patients can see it, our staff are mindful of it every day, and we live and breathe by our core values and our mission statement. Our mission statement: we provide exceptional guest experience customized to each individual and unique needs in a positive, caring environment that will astound you at every interaction. So we call our patients guests. We want them to feel like they're part of our family when they come in. They feel like our office is like a family. We all act like we're a family, and we do customize everything to our patients' needs. And you'll see in future slides what type of things we do to customize every type of patient that could come into your office, so that so that you're opening up the doors to any type of patient and what their needs are. Our core values: we have a little thing called We Go. That's how we remember them. We hire and train the best. When we say the best, we don't mean the most experienced, not even down to the dentist. We don't need the most experienced. Patients don't remember the most experienced dentist they see. They know they remember how they were treated and how the staff treated them. And more importantly, it's how the staff actually treated them. So, and when we say we hire and train the best, we hire and train the best people with the best culture that fits what we're looking for, and the best customer service attitude. Skill, like I said, it's always been secondary to us. Effortless. We want our patients to have an effortless experience. From like the minute that they call our office, how easy it was to find our office. Parking lot was lots of availability spots in the parking lot. We can get them in within 24 hours. We're open till 10 o'clock. They don't have to miss school or work to come into our office. Tons of signage. We take full ownership to their insurance, understanding what their insurance does and doesn't cover. Full transparency of what their copay is. There's never any surprises for them when they get to the front desk or when their treatment's complete. Guest obsessed. We truly are obsessed with our patients, and they know that. Even down to, we take profile pictures of them on their first visit so that we can call them by their first name before they even walk in the door on their second appointment. We make notes of how they want their coffee made, so when they come in, we've already got their coffee made on how they want it. The TV station and the chairs set up in the op before they go in of how they want to sit, what they want to watch on TV. We call them the next day to see how they're feeling, even if it's just a filling. Everybody gets a care call in my office the next day. Operational excellence. We're very hardworking, performance-driven people. Everybody in my office has come from a customer service background before they came into our office. We probably have only, like, if I have 25 administrators, I think 2 of them actually came with dental experience. I actually pulled them all from customer service industries and brought them in and trained them. Even our clinical staff came right from graduate school and came right in. We work with the colleges. This is just a little view of what our company culture is about. And hi, my name is Sherry. I'm the Director of Operations at Taunton Village Dental. We're here today at St. Vincent's Soup Kitchen. It's really important to our office to give back to the community that's given so much to us. We want to be known in our community for volunteering, giving back, and good karma. So our whole team is here today, taking their time out of their day with their families to give back to the Oshawa community.
Okay, so this is our second year here at St. Vincent's Kitchen in the Durham region. Basically, our team from Taunton Village Dental is volunteering for the day for the service. We've already given out 6 cleanings to 6 different individuals, so we look forward to seeing them in our office this coming week.
So we do like tons of charity work in the community. We actually do this one like once a year, go to the soup kitchen. We do so many other things. But that's the type of individuals we're looking for. In our employee contracts, it actually says they need to volunteer for at least 10 hours a year with the company. They can pick and choose on which things they want to do. We don't expect them to come to all of our charity type events, but that is what they're signing up for. And now it's down to the point where we have people applying for jobs at our office because of what we do in our community. Like, and that's the office that they want to work for.
Yeah, we also do that free dental day once a year.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
It's coming out.
Yeah, you'll see the video in a second. But even the 10-hour thing, they put in 10 hours of community time or whatever. We didn't even have to do that. They
want to.
Every single one of our team, whatever, there's like 50 in the one office, every single one shows up. All the dentists show up.
Every one of them.
They all work for free. All the suppliers
their
give it to us
husbands,
free.
their wives come, their kids come.
And this week, we have another free day. Thankfully, we're able to do it again because we're allowed to. We weren't last year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And our team was really sad about it because it's such an amazing thing. So in the last week, we've had 2 people that used to be on our team that moved far away. Like one guy's like 3 hours away now. The other one's like 2 or 3 hours away. They messaged Sherry, telling them when's the free day. They want to come back and do it.
Yeah, like they still want to come back to our office to volunteer when we do our charity events, and they don't even work for us anymore. Hiring outside the box, like I had mentioned, I don't hire people with dental experience. I know some of you guys also think the same way, which is so great to hear. It's culture over skill. You can always teach somebody a skill, but to teach somebody the right customer service attitude, that's a skill that you can't teach. That's just like you're born and bred to have that. So like I said, we actually have very little people that even came into our office with dental backgrounds. It actually kind of hindered us when we hired somebody with dental background because they were stuck in their old ways of an old dental office that doesn't believe in CRSAB philosophies. They have great attitudes. They come from retail. They come from customer service, fast food places, bars, wait staff. And, the one great thing and benefit about hiring people from these places also, they don't mind working evenings and weekends because they've always done it. If you hire somebody that works in a bar till 2 in the morning, telling them that they're working till 10 is actually a blessing. And let me tell you, somebody that can handle a drunk person at 2 in the morning can 100% yell at can handle an upset patient. Their conflict resolution skills from a customer service experience background, it's phenomenal. And
That is such a skill that you don't learn like dental.
No.
If you go to dental school for any skill in dentistry, if you're able to deal with adversity, like you're in the service industry, whether it's a hotel or restaurant or bar or a nightclub, whatever, when you can deal with somebody that's upset or complaining face to face, you have to deal with it right there in their face with a smile on. Mm-hmm. So, like Sherry said, going from that to going to the clean dental industry with the great, they love it, and they know how to handle people, how to treat people, how to make them feel special.
And the thing is too, you're offering them a career opportunity. And when they come into our office, they have an opportunity for growth. Like I started with Steve as an assistant, and now I am the COO. And they've seen my story, and I share it with them.
And she makes more than some of our dentists.
And I share it with them, and they see that. And you're taking them from a minimum wage job, giving them a career opportunity, teaching them basically a mini education session where and then they grow from that. I have people like Sarah here. Her husband has come in and thanked me for getting his wife out of the bar or at a Subway, and now she can dress up, wear a nice suit to work, and feel confident about herself. And that is that's
amazing.
Yeah, that's
what
priceless.
A feeling.
Even our clinical staff, we actually hire right through school. We set up relationships with the schools, and we take them as part-timers during school and put them in our sterilization areas, and we put them as hygiene assistants. So they're working part-time evenings and weekends while they're in school, learning doing the sterilization, doing hygiene assist, and then the minute they graduate from hygiene school or dental assisting, they just swap over to their new role. And you know what? What's so great about it too, when that employee has already done that other job as a hygiene assistant or a sterile bay, the mutual respect that we all have for each other, because we've all kind of had a bit in the pot of everybody's position, the respect level and the appreciation is there by the hygienists, 100%, because they also were in that position. Katie down here, she's a hygienist. She's now my lead hygienist to my new location that's opening, and she was our hygiene assistant for a whole year while she was in school, and now she has become lead clinical hygienist in our new location that's opening. So that opportunity for growth was there while she was doing a minimum wage job for us.
And the other great thing about hiring outside of dentistry is the starting level, the starting wage is a lot lower than it is for like somebody coming out of the dental industry, which is great for everybody because it gives
Lots
you
of room for growth.
more room for growth.
Giving
No,
raises when they deserve it.
They're ecstatic. They're making more generally than they did before, not including tips, obviously, or whatever. But like they're making a lot more, and they have more of a career opportunity. So you start them off, and they're happy, but you've got so much room to move, right, as they grow with the company. Because we've all been through this. When you hire somebody that's come from another dental office, like whatever skill it is in your office, the wage expectation is a lot more because they have experience. And that's great and everything, but there's no room to move there because, and also there's no opportunity for them to prove themselves that they're worthy of more, they're loyal to your office. But when you start from outside of dentistry, you start a lot lower. There's a lot more room for growth. And generally, they're super happy to be there and have the opportunity.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you can't just do what we're telling you to do and hire people with no experience without an insane, strong onboarding program. So we have put together a pretty flawless onboarding program. That picture there are our manuals that we've developed for every position in the office, and it's literally a step-by-step, day-to-day, 2-week onboarding process of what our employees do every single day when they show up, and then we quiz them at the end of that day of what they had learned. And so when people come in as an administrator with not even a dental background, as you can see in that photo, we literally put them into like school, and we're teaching them like dental terminology and what procedures are and showing them what it is. Like we're giving them like a little crash course in dental administration. And then, we pass them on to the phone scripts. They're watching all of the Chris Ed training videos. That's the second day. Then they get passed on to learning the phone skills, and we're actually like coaching them. We don't even let our staff, even clinical staff, go in front of our patients for the first week. Second week is when they go into the clinic, and then they're sitting with somebody that is trained, and they're watching them do it, and towards the end of the week is when we put them in the chair, and then they're doing it. You have to have that step-by-step onboarding experience, or don't do it at all, because you're going to set your employees up to fail. And for us, if somebody's failing, that's on us. We missed a step. We left something out. We rushed the process. Sometimes we've made quick decisions when we needed to hire someone on a whim, and we hired someone and didn't put them through the 2-week program, or we hired someone with experience, and every single time it has bit us in the butt, and we've had to either let that person go, or we've had to start all over and go to the 2-week program and go back when they'd already been working for a month. So I actually brought the manuals today with me. I didn't bring them when I spoke about it 2 years ago. If you guys want to even take a look at what we do, it's pretty advanced, and I think we've got it down to a science now of what you need to do in those 2 weeks, whether it's clinical or administration.
And to Sherry's point about that, like how the onboarding, I know it can be really frustrating because you think, I invested 2 weeks, and then it doesn't work out. You got to stick to it. You just have to keep doing that. But I think it's the worst possible scenario with hygienists. So the hygiene market is the same in Toronto. It's tough. It's a tight market since we're coming out of this quarantine thing. So we've been, I'll use the word desperate over the about 6 months to a year ago. So there's temp agencies for hygienists, and I'm like, okay, sure, we have to. We need to.
Yeah, we would call temp agencies when we were expanding our hours and we couldn't recruit because COVID and it was just too hard to hire sometimes. We called a temp agency in just to cover that shift. Never has worked out for us. Whenever we've had a temp come in, because they don't have our company culture, they don't have our core values, and we would never have hired them normally, like they don't fit our culture. We literally have lost patience when we've had somebody come in to temp in our office, and it's because they didn't follow our customer journey. They didn't do what our office stands for, and it's just never worked out.
And like the other guys referenced, it's not worth it.
No.
It does more damage.
Yeah.
Like so you're gonna lose some hygiene hours, whatever. Do what you need to do to get great people, to hire great hygiene team. Do the proper onboarding, do whatever you need to do. Adjust the wages. I mean, we've changed ours like in the last, about 5 months ago, we needed to hire a bunch of hygienists, and we have such a solid core. They've all been with us from the beginning. I mean, they generally, I don't think we've lost one, unless they moved away, but they stay with us. So we opened up the floodgates. We said, okay, look, the dentists in the area were starting to offer more aggressively. So I said, okay, game on. We rose all the base salaries. Our hygiene team was ecstatic, because we can't start advertising that we're paying X when we're paying some of our existing hygienists X minus whatever. So we raised all their wages. We gave them a $5 bonus for working prime time and weekends, and there's a bonus structure we use too. So it's great. Like a lot of the other guys have talked about, it doesn't matter what it costs for hygiene. It doesn't matter. Like you give the appointments away for free. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But keeping that consistent experience is critical.
Yeah. So this is just a few pictures of our team. They're all high-driven, performance-driven people, all from customer service backgrounds. They all share the same vision. Our first location, we've won Best Dental Office in our region of like probably 800 to 1,000 dental office in that region.
For like a million people.
Yeah, for the past 4 years in a row, we've won that award. And you know what? Like, we have full transparency with our team. Every single month, I'll put goals out for what we had to do that month. They know what they are. What we bill and what we make in the office is transparent. They see it every day. It's on an Excel sheet. You can't expect people to do what you want them to do if you don't share with them what the goal truly is. We have full transparency with our team for everything, and they have full transparency with me as well. They tell me if their long-term goal is to be somewhere else, and I help them with it. Sometimes if they're not planning to stay forever, they're working towards something else, I help them get to that point as well. Because you know what, you never know who they're gonna bring in. Another great key player. Most of our staff now have been referrals from within our company. We don't even actually have to really post job postings anymore. It's all referrals within the office. So this is our free dental day that we do once a year.
Operations at Taunton Village Dental. Today is our 3rd annual Dentistry with Heart Day. We give back to the Oshawa community by providing free dental services for the entire day. Our whole team is here today with their family and friends, giving their time to give back to the community that's given so much to us and made us #1 dental office in Durham region. Thanks, Oshawa.
So come on down, Oshawa.
That's the mayor
when we work
of our
together with our community
city.
leaders. And thank you very much, everyone.
So again, that's just basically just what we want to be known for. And we even have patients that come in because they know what we do, and they're like, you know, we want to come to the office that gives away and gives back to the community. So just how important it is.
We didn't turn one person away. Like we've done this like 3 years in a row, and like I said, we missed it last year, unfortunately. But we've never turned a patient away. So the last one we did, we saw 245 patients for free, and all the patients are, you know, you're entitled to either like an extraction, a filling,
or a cleaning.
Or cleaning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So you want to talk about this one? You like this one?
Yeah, so when I referenced before, like the customer journey, about that, you know, customer experience, when you have all your background stuff ready to go. One of my friends in Toronto, he's a really successful restaurant club guy, and his whole shtick is that he is all about service, like creating an experience, unique experience for every interaction. So he spent so much time training his staff, like his service staff and his team. He wrote a book, it's called People First Culture. It's a great read, quick read. So anyways, when I opened this last office, okay, I need somebody to help me because I've never done this before with the whole the customer journey thing. So we hired Michelle Falcon is his name, and it was a pretty decent expense. And he put on 4 workshops for us. And in hindsight, I should have done it sooner because the first one wasn't until we were open for like 6 months. So what we did, we had the whole team there, and we had breakout sessions, and we thought strategically through every single customer touch point, from when the first phone call comes in until they leave and rebook their next appointment and pay. So like every single step. So a lot of thought was put into this, and I'm really into checklists. There's a lot of books that I've written on checklists because you know what's going to happen, and it makes your team accountable. So these are the first version of the checklist that we came up with. Every single patient that walks into the office has to have every one of these boxes checked.
Yeah, so the blue ones are for the dental assistants, for the doctors that are assisting the doctors, and the pink ones are the hygienists. So they come in the morning, they sign in about 20 minutes before their shift, before their first patient, and they fill out one of these cards. They're laminated, so we reuse them. We just wipe them off. And every single patient that they're gonna see that day gets one of these cards filled out. And this is basically like a quality assurance checklist, so that you are 100% ready for your patient. There's nothing missing. You're not gonna look dumb in front of your patient because you forgot that there was supposed to be a lab case. Where is the lab case? You don't know what it is, or we don't know what their insurance is gonna cover right now. We don't know what their copay is gonna be, even down to reading journal notes from last visit so that you can see that little Billy had a soccer game last week. Let's ask him how his game was, stuff like that. Everything is on this list. And we tried to make the list on our own first, like without asking our team, and we came up with our own different kind of lists, and nobody was using them. And then we're like, okay, what's going on? So then we finally asked our team's input, and they need these for themselves. Like that, it has to be user friendly to the people that are using it. So now now if my hygienist or my dental assistants don't have a card for their patient, they actually feel like they're lost. They're like, okay, wait, I'm not prepared today. If they suddenly show up late that morning and get in just in time, but they don't get to do their cards, like that, their day that day doesn't go as well as it could have been. So these checklists is an ever-evolving checklist, though. We're just preparing now to change them because some of the things on here now are a bit redundant, and we're adding new things, taking out some things. So it's not like it's like a one-size-fits-all. Like, we have changed them recently, and it's always keeping with the new times. So now that we have some restrictions, we're updating them based on what's going on right now in the industry. But it just has great communication, and the handoff from the patient to the administrator to the clinical staff becomes a flawless experience. I also have those here with me today if you guys want to take a look at what we consider our touch points and what makes us have a flawless experience.
And consistent every single time is the same.
Yeah.
So they always get what when I just talked about the hygienist, that's what really screws things up is when you have your patients, they come, they're not your, what's that saying? They're not your patient until they've been for like 3 recalls, 4 recalls. You're not their dentist yet. And if they come to you once, oh, this place is amazing. These people are great. They come back for their next appointment. These people are great. Then they come for the 3rd appointment and they see the temporary hygienist that you threw in the chair without training, that doesn't know your patient, doesn't care about your patient or your office. It just ruins everything. So those checklists, consistency every single time, every experience is the same.
Yeah. Another really important role we have in the office is called the concierge. So I do come from a hospitality background as well, and the concierge is the eyes on the sky. So we have a floater administrative position in the office. So they don't sit at a front desk, and they're on the floor. They have a stand-up computer or an iPad that they use with the schedule on it, and they're walking the room between the clinical and the front desk, and they're making sure that they're monitoring the schedule, making sure patients are being brought in on time. If they're going in the back to see what's wrong. Can they help and turn the room around? They've been cross-trained to do sterilization, cleaning the rooms. They're also in the waiting rooms, talking to the patients, asking them how their day was, connecting with them. and dealing with conflict. And a lot of them now have been certified to take x-rays as well, so they can jump in whenever they're ready. This actually has hugely helped with our time management, starting appointments on time, and making sure, again, that handoff has become flawless, and that they can be anywhere where they need to be, going in, getting the patient, having a consultation for a financial arrangement. So, and then the people at the front desk can be solely focused on billing out, and you're still having somebody walking around and readily available to help when they are needed. It's actually become a huge position.
It's hugely huge. I like to liken it to the concierge thing, the checklist that we just saw about those customer touch points. The concierge fills in all the gaps, like everything between those steps that our patients go through. Any weakness, we're looking for, like constantly. Like if somebody's been waiting too long, or they're getting a little antsy, or the treatment wasn't entered properly, or they weren't walked out properly. But the concierge fills in all those gaps. Just like at going to like a great restaurant, like the hostess, or Sherry calls it like a pointer. It's a pointer.
Yeah.
The hostess that walks around, has got their eyes on the floor, watching for anything that's off.
Yeah. Another thing, we have an insurance coordinator. So you don't want your administrators calling the insurance at the front desk to get that breakdown. This is done off-site in the back admin office, and we take full ownership for everybody's insurance. If something's not covered and we billed it incorrectly, that's on us. Our patients don't have to know anything about their insurance. So we have somebody, the minute someone walks in and gives us that insurance cover, they're on the phone getting that full breakdown and finding out what's covered, what's not covered. This ensures accuracy so that the doctor can feel confident with what they're about to do. We can offer same-day treatment. We can offer treatment on our walk-ins, and we can be assured that we know what's covered, what's not covered, and what those co-pays are for the patients. It also is a huge support for our AR team. It's nothing worse than when you have the wrong breakdown or you don't collect the right amount, and now it's the AR's responsibility to collect that from the patient when they've already left. Patient does not want to get a phone call a couple weeks down the road and like, oh, we actually got your insurance breakdown wrong and you actually owe us this much more money. There's nothing worse to a patient, and they're probably not going to come back. So this is all done back end so that, again, our administrators in the front are only serving the patient in front of them, not answering phones, not getting insurance breakdowns, only serving the patient. On our marketing strategy, so like Chris had says, you can't just do flyers like once for 3 months and then not do them again for a year. You have to consistently be always marketing and always staying on top of it. And it's not just one thing that's going to work. It's going to be multiple things that you have to do. Our signage, we send our flyers out every 3 to 4 weeks in the mail. We rotate the postal codes. We call them postal codes here. They're zip codes. We rotate them so that they're all going to different areas. We have our SEO program. We do everything. We're on the radio. So it's everything conjoined. And like Steve had said, it takes an average 3 impressions before a patient will finally call you. So it's not going to be just a one-shot deal. You have to consistently be in their head. They have to consistently hear and see your logo, see your commercials, get your flyer, and then it will work. They will pick up that phone finally, and then you will be the dentist that they come to.
And you got to go hard and heavy at the beginning.
Yeah.
I like the analogy of like pumping a well water. Like in the beginning, you just got to keep pumping and pumping and pumping, and your arm gets sore, and then it starts starts trickling out, and before you know it, it just flows on its own.
Yeah.
It just gushes out of there, and
400
it's
to
just
500 new patients a month in our office, in one location. 400 to 500 every single month. So this is just obviously some of our marketing. It's all been done by Chris. We let them handle all that for us. We don't want to change anything with our brands. And then SEO.
SEO, I'm embarrassed to say I still don't understand what it is. All I know is it's effing expensive. So one of the things you need to do before you open is hire a guy. Chris has guys start building your organic content to get you to the top of searches, because you want to be at the top without spending a ton of money. It's super important. Our organic things are really, really high now, thankfully, so we're not spending as much. But it's just so important, especially when you're new, to be at the top. When they search like, Oshawa dentist or Athens dentist, you want to be kind of at the top on the screen, because they will have driven by, gotten your flyers, they've seen your branding. We're so overwhelmed today. Like, we're just like bombarded with information and signage and everything. But they will recognize, they're not going to remember the name of your practice. They're going to remember where it is, or maybe it's something they heard about, or they see your flyers or signage, banners. But you want to be recognizable sort of at the top, on that first landing page, so it's easy to just, oh yeah, that's where I want to go. Click.
Yeah.
So we got our total cost for all our patients.
Georgetown Village Dental with great news. We're offering a
Radio.
cleaning and
Yeah.
exam for
This is one of our
$129.
marketing.
Not once, not twice, but always. Your $129 cleaning will always include a check from the dentist, polishing, and x-rays. An unbelievable value. Always accepting new patients, walk-ins, emergencies, and same-day appointments. We direct bill to all insurance providers. Visit us at georgetowndental.ca.
That's our newer one.
So one of the things that make us very unique is, it said 129 on there because we actually changed it to 99 there as well. They're 99 in all of our offices. We do a $99 cleaning in our offices.
Hey, it's Sherry.
How do I get, okay, sorry, there you go. So we do a $99 cleaning in our office, and we tap into the uninsured market when we do this. So many dental offices fail to do something that's going to attract uninsured people. And most of the time when people need to go to a dentist, there's two reasons they're calling. They're in pain and they have a dental emergency, or they feel like they need a cleaning because their mouth feels kind of grimy. So when we need something to get uninsured people to come in and get a cleaning done. So we have an affordable dental cleaning, $99. It gets them in, it gets their basics of what they need, an exam by the dentist. And about 20% of our patient base now are uninsured patients that are $99 patients, and they're consistently on a perio program every 3 to 4 months cleaning, and they're all getting treatment with a dentist. So it is a loss leader when we don't really make a lot of money on the 99 by the time you pay your hygienist and the chair time, but it's what it's done with accepting treatment with the dentist, because then we put them on a payment plan with the dentist, or they're doing 1-2 fillings at a time and they're getting it done. And then, you know what, one day they get insurance and they tell their friends. But we basically have covered every type of market by offering this cleaning and bringing in uninsured people. And it's a huge loss leader in our office, but it brings in a ton of revenue into the dental chair.
It's like the same metric that you've heard so many times before, which is so true. Like, if you look at the numbers for your office and you multiply your field hygiene visits by whatever it is, like ours now is like 600 per appointment, 650 I think it is, about 650 every field hygiene. So yeah, it doesn't matter, $99, that's a field hygiene appointment. That's generating like $650, $700 in revenue for the office.
Yeah.
And this is another, there's no competition for us here because Sherry said we don't make any on it. We actually lose money on the $99 cleaning because the way we have to do it in Toronto is we have to do a full exam, like full mouth probing, head and neck exam, records, everything, and just to do the cleaning. But after that, it's easy because they come back for, I think it's 30, 40-minute appointment now. 40 minutes we have to wait for the room turnaround. But those people are so loyal. They become so loyal to a practice, especially because at the beginning, you have to be vigilant about sticking to that, whatever, a lot of you guys do like free cleanings, $99 cleaning, no bait and switch. When you get the reputation as, hey, these guys are legit. Like, I thought they were trying to upsell me. I thought they were going to try and sell me more like periotherapy. We tell them what they need, and we give them the option. I don't know what percent would, if somebody needs the full mouth quadrant scaling, whatever, we have a fair number of people that opt out to pay $99 for each one. But anyways, the people that come back for regular, returning, repeat customers are so loyal. They tell their friends, like $99 and you're getting all this service, 2 free x-rays, free exam. They tell their friends, and all of these patients, they all have friends, they all have neighbors, they all work in a place. And a lot of them get insurance, or their spouse gets insurance. They send their neighbors, so it's really, really fantastic.
And they're accepting treatment in the dentist chair, which is how is the big revenue, right? It's not from the hygiene chair anyways. And like I said, you guys know the phone scripts that Chris had supplies. We never veer from our phone scripts. It is 100% always has to be followed. Secret shopper calls, reactivation scripts, everything is all scripted. And we actually record our calls, and we listen to how all of our administrators are answering the phones and handling every ingoing and outgoing call. So this is another one of our commercials that you really have to talk about. So open 7 days a week. You really need to make sure that that patients really do know that you're open 7 days a week. Like a lot of dental offices say that they are, but they're really not. You really need to make sure you hammer home that message. So one of our great radio ads that we have. Oh, I didn't play it.
Thank you for calling Taunton Village Dental, open 7 days a
This
week.
is our
Know
secret
that
shopper
you
call.
Can I help you?
Yes, I have not actually been into your office before, and so I was wondering if I could make a cleaning appointment, but before, I have Sun Life insurance, so I was just wondering if you guys bill Sun Life directly.
Yes, we do. 100% we bill all insurance directly.
Oh, okay, that's awesome then. Okay, yeah, then I'd like to see if I can set up a cleaning appointment with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So you are a patient of ours then?
No, I haven't been into your office. I apologize. I should have made that more clear.
Sorry. I thought you said you came to the office. No worries. Okay, well, thank you for choosing us. Let me just tell you a little bit about us. We're open Monday through Friday. We're open at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we close at 10 p.m. at night. And then we're open Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. I can get you in as soon as tonight for a cleaning at 8:50, if that can work for you, and that's with Miss Claire, and she is absolutely fabulous. And if that doesn't work for you for tonight, I do have a 6 a.m. if you're an early bird, and that one's with Miss Krista, and she is absolutely wonderful too. And then if that doesn't work, I can get you in tomorrow night at 9:10.
Oh, okay, wow.
If any of those appointments do work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so anyways, that's
Thank you
when,
for calling.
just so that we don't take too much time, but that is a true call from our office.
And just for the
with one
record,
of our
that wasn't like
administrators.
the only one secret shopper call we got that we felt. They're all like that.
Yeah.
They're all like perfect.
I'm pretty sure if Corey's here, we have like an A+ track record. We don't allow anybody to fail calls in our office. It's a service level agreement in our office. You cannot fail a secret shopper call. You get one chance to fail and you have to pass. We would never be okay if our administrators didn't offer primetime appointments, and we celebrate when they pass, but if they fail, like they are in the principal's office, and we don't let that happen. The minute you start letting failed secret shopper calls slide is when you will see a downhill decline in fully booked treatment right up until you close. And then just some of what our surveys have said about our patients. Everyone is always pleasant, always appreciate how easily and willing they are to work with mine and my son's work schedule. Friendly, informative, and responsive, clean environment, positive atmosphere. I came in as an emergency. You took me in right then and there. Service was fantastic. I will be leaving my current dental office based on my experience. Everyone's truly happy to be working there. These really are our patient surveys. We send out a survey within 10 minutes of a patient leaving our office, and we do that for a number of reasons. Now that we're growing so big, you have to know if your staff really are continuing to do everything that you want them to be doing. And sometimes managers will say, yep, I'm doing everything, yep, no, everything's fine, but then the numbers tell a different story. Surveys from your patients will tell you the truth of what's really going on. And our surveys it's our way of knowing that we're consistently still doing everything right, or do we need to change something, do we need to revisit something, what's going on. So our surveys are sent out to every single patient, every single appointment within 5 minutes of them leaving the office.
And
it's
on
really
the survey
important.
thing, Michelle Falcon, my restaurant friend, he taught us this. We just had another workshop last week. Don't be afraid of your crappy Google reviews. Use them as a tool. If you look at it, because it's really annoying when they get like a 1 star. You have to get like 100 5 stars. But you can learn from, it's the 3 and 4 stars that you may get. You can learn a lot from those people. Like, those are the ones get legit. Oh, it was a great dentist, but whatever.
My appointment didn't start on time.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, okay, well now we need to revisit what's going on. Are we not, is the concierge not on the floor that day? Something. The surveys and the reviews tell the story for you as managers and owners of what's going on in your clinic, and do we need to fix something, do we need to change something, do we even need to change management, do some training, or something's going on that you're unaware of. One of the biggest, most important things, obviously, as a ChrisEd client, you would know is pre-appoint. Always, always, always pre-appoint. You never let somebody leave the office without their next appointment, and always in prime time, obviously. But reactivation and calls are just as important. You spend so much money on marketing and getting patients in the door, you need to make sure you're retaining your patients. As I had mentioned earlier, we're at an 85 to 90% retention rate. And the reason why 100% that we have such a high retention rate is we have a solid hygiene coordinating and treatment coordinating team. They're in the back admin office, and their sole job all day long for their 8-hour shift is making calls to fill the schedule. And that's all they do. So we have a hygiene coordinating team, and during their 8-hour shift, they're usually making about 100 hygiene appointment calls. You know, they're like 17, 18-year-old people. Some of them are actually in hygiene school as well, and they have a great day with it. If they book 10 to 15, if they book 10, they get a Tim Hortons gift card. You know, they get to push a button when they book. They're all celebrating it in there. And the great thing is, you know, it's an entry-level position. You know, you don't need experience. You don't need to have a trained dental person to be able to make these hygiene calls, follow ChrisEd scripts. These people, like when you book, they book 10, 15 appointments a day. Sometimes they book 20 a day. It's insane. And, you know, from that hygiene visit of that patient coming in, the dentist is going to diagnose at least minimal, our doctors, it's 650 to 700, sometimes 800, 900 during that exam. And for those 15 people that were booked from that hygiene coordinator, it's between $9,000, $10,000, $11,000 that they just generated from you paying that entry-level position to make those calls that day. It's the bigger picture that you need to have that time off the floor for somebody to be making those calls, because your retention is even more important than bringing in new patients. Or else it's just a hamster wheel of constantly having to fight to get new patients. So as much as we love our 400 to 500 new patients, our retention rate is what we're most proud of.
And it's really simple to do the math on this. So we get our reports every morning, our KPIs, and we'll obviously look at field hygiene, and I will look at the number of hygiene coordinator calls that went out and how many were booked. But there's a lot more that actually get booked from those calls than we can keep track of, because we're really big fans of the ChrisEd script for reactivating and reactivation. We don't want them to answer the phone. We leave a promotional message that we're open 7 days a week, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those people call back and book their appointments. So it's a lot higher than 15.
Yeah, it's 15 that answered, but we have, those girls that are making those 100 calls, it's even a number that we don't even know because of the people that are calling back from that left message. It's astronomical, and it's like I said, it's an entry-level position. You could literally, actually, my son has like 4 of his friends working at my office making those calls, and they're all 17, 18-year-old girls, and they love it. And honestly, and they have a field day doing it.
And they're in like hygiene school too. They're gonna
they're all in hygiene school and dental assisting school. Anyways, our motto, we love our patients. It's our hashtag. It's like, again, it just comes down to having that great team environment that share that same philosophy, and you're there to serve the patient and making that amazing experience for them. And that's all it's about. And then the rest will just come. It will just come if you have that team. And like I said about the prime time, whenever you're at about 60% capacity, you add another column, hire another hygienist, open another chair. It's the way it has to go.
And I love what Justin said. I didn't know that our software system didn't know how much we were working. That we could just open up more chairs. That was brilliant. Yeah. And we're going to stop using Phyllis, because I don't believe that we take it seriously. Because everybody knows it's the overflow chair for overbooking. So we're going to start doing what Justin talked about, is booking those extra chairs.
Yeah.
Ghost chairs. Because nobody knows if they're going to be hygienists or not, but they'll be full.
So where are we at now? So we've got 3 locations, amazing, and now it gets to a point where you get so big where how do you ensure that everything's going to happen if you're only one person? So we have decided that our next mission now, which we're starting, is we're going to develop, we're making a call center. And we don't want to call it a call center, and friends have told us not to call it a call center. But we're centralizing all of our incoming and outgoing calls so that we can control that they are being done properly and that someone's not sabotaging the schedule. So that's our next step, is to get that happening for all ingoing, outgoing treatment calls, hygiene calls, accounts payable, accounts receivable. It's all going to happen in one centralized location for all offices, and we can control what's happening from there. So then also, too, the people that are at the office, they can just fully only serve the patient. And that's it. Oh. And then this is where you'll get, basically, if you follow everything that we do, this is our end result.
Like a Muslim man. It's like Vegas.
And with a solid commitment to our core values and our people-first culture, we won this. 18 months. Amazing.
Yeah, 18 months. We had one best dental office.
That's
in,
my wife there. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for your attention.
Thank you, Steve and Sherry. I love the practical, fundamental, love of this checklist. You guys, I think, all want these checklists or access to these checklists. You volunteered.
Yeah, I did bring everything today.
Okay, so do you have printed copies?
I have my manuals. Well, if you'd like to look at them, I can send you the PDFs. I have it all here.
Great. So let one of us know at ChrisAd. Let Sherry know. We'll figure it out. I see some hands are up. Do you have
I
questions?
actually had to pay overweight, so to bring them here.
So you want to distribute them, right? Yeah, we're going to pass them out. Yeah. But thank you so much to you guys. Thank you to all of our speakers. Most of all, thank you to you, our attendees, for sticking it out, listening to these guys, taking great notes, going back to your practices and making those changes, which I know many of you have promised to make. Joan. We do have time if there's questions. Would you guys mind a few?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You got that?
Where can we find your manuals and PDF?
So I have them all in PDF. If you guys want, I'll just give you my card, and it'll have my email address on it, and I can just email them to you. If you want to look at them to see which ones maybe that you would be interested in seeing them, because it is for every single position, and then I can just send you a PDF version of it.
Thank you for the generosity.
even
I
know
would
what
like
that
it too,
was.
if you don't mind. I
Yeah,
want one.
yeah, of
You
course.
have to pay for it, Corey.
Yeah, I know I have to pay for mine. Any other questions? No?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you
over
guys.
here.
Thank
Over
you so
here.
much
Here's
for
a
attending.
question.
Oh, wait, there is one. Hold on. I can't see anything.
Hi, my question is about reactivation calls. Is there a more popular time to call those people
Yeah,
so we
so
don't get voice messages?
Yep, our hygiene coordinators only call people in the evening. It's actually an 11 to 7 or a 12 shift, because if you're going to try to get a hold of people during the day, it's not going to work. So again, another reason why we hire high school students, because they come after school. So definitely more people are going to answer the phone in the evening. But even between 12 and 4, when we have a really great promotional script that we follow for our reactivation that we leave messages for. You get all the great things about you in that promotional message, and we don't mind that they hear it, because when they hear the message, it's really great. We also send text messages about reactivation and emails, and in my manuals, they're all in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hold on. Yep, we
Yeah.
do have one more.
Am I ready? Yeah, quick question. How many operatories do you guys have, and then what is your billing per op per year? What are you guys at right now?
We're at 1.3 million per year. So we're doing
Per
just
chair.
like 110,000, about 110,000 per chair per month. In our new office that we opened 8 months ago, so that's a 7-op practice. We're adding 5 more starting Monday morning. Finally, they're opening up. At the practice Georgetown Dental that we opened in November, December last year, That's 5 ops. We're adding 5 more. And again, so like I talked about before, walk the talk. We got a space where we can add 5 more ops. We're doing that. We're already planning for that. That office is whatever months old, 9 months old, is doing about 150, 160 a month. And we're anticipating by the time the new part opens up next year, we're not going to be at at $1 million a chair per year. So what is 160 a month? Who can do math on that?
Is that 160 a month per chair?
1.8. Yeah. No. Total. 5 chairs.
Oh, yeah, the new one.
So like 30 grand a chair, 30 to 35,000 per chair. That's after 8 months. We're anticipating being up to about 80 to 90,000 within 12 months, because it's kind of following the same trajectory as originally. And we're adding 5 more there. And the office that we're opening up, the 12-op place in November, I'm very confident that we'll be to $1 million because it's such an amazing location. We've got it's great because the new one that we're opening is about 20 minutes away from our Oshawa office. So we have such a core, we have such a reputation as the best place to work, and we have such a core of great people on our team. So and it's 12 ops, and it's such a great location. I'm very confident we'll be up to $1 million a chair in under 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So within 24 months, we were already at 1.3 million a chair for the first office per chair. Per month. Yeah. Anybody else?
I think you guys are free to go.
Perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
Thank
if
you,
anybody wants,
everyone.
they can find me. Thank you.